We mentioned the Islamic Center, the planned Islamic Community Center and Mosque we built just steps from ground zero. Also, we've talked about the Obama administration and its response to that oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. The power panel is here and they want to dig into it. So here, joining us now, the lovely ladies, journalist Judy Licht and Lynn White, and advertising executive Charlotte Ann Nelson. Good to see you. I guess we take on that oil spill first. Even though it's farthest away, it's going to have impact here. We've talked about this before in the panel. The Obama administration is going to go now Friday. He's going to go back again. What do you think, Judy?
Too little, too late. I mean, it's beyond politics at this point. He has not taken a leadership position here. When you have Chris Matthews, who's the biggest Obama supporter in the world, and James Carville, the biggest Democrat in the world, Chris Matthews said that he's acting much more like a Vatican observer. When is he actually going to do something? Right. When James Carville said today, you know, that the president's being lackadaisical, this man should have seized the opportunity and instead of just criticizing BP, marshaled all the resources that we had and gone in there and done something about it a lot faster.
Well, I think he said to his staff, plug the damn hole, if I can correctly quote him. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, you want to be able to say it. Quoting the president.
Right. Plug that hole.
As we think.
And what can he do? I mean, here you're always on the side of big business. This is private enterprise. It's their problem. We don't have the equipment, quite frankly, to go in there and do anything about it. We don't even know what to do. This is uncharted territory. Unfortunately, I wish we did have the top brass and the equipment to go in there and plug that hole, but it's not that easy.
I agree with you, Lynn, but what government can do is what they're supposed to do, which is regulate these private sector industries. So we now know that the regulators were in bed, literally, more often than not, with the oil industry. That's what government needs to focus on. Tighten up the regulation, clean up the regulators, and pursue a clean energy policy.
But that would be the longer term. I think the issue before us is whether the government has the power to marshal resources and also whether they can just fully stand back while BP, although the argument is they have the experts, supposed to have the experts to deal with this, but they haven't come up with the right solution just yet.
I think they're giving them one more option, and that's on Wednesday when they'll have, you know, the last chance.
But I'm all for offshore, excuse me, Lynn, I'm all for offshore drilling, as you know, and I've said before. However, the only way we should be offshore drilling is if we have the regulation, to your point, Charlotte Ann, and that means knowing in advance of the drilling exactly what the safety precaution is. And this is something that even though the president came in and everybody's blaming Bush and Cheney, and I'm sick to death of it because the president's been the president for a year and a half, he should well have thought of, or his energy people should well have thought of.
But the Inspector General's report shows that from the year 2005 to 2007, I'm sorry, Judy, but that is when Cheney and Bush were in power. That is when the inspectors came in after the oil industry wrote out their own registration on what they could and couldn't do, their own inspection sheets in pencil, and then the regulators came in and put in ink what they had already proposed. The oil companies had already proposed.
That's why we have a president to change that.
But if you're not aware of it, how do you change it? This is the first.
Supposed to be aware.
Well,
meanwhile,
let's
the
see.
oil
He's
is
got
still
1,001 things here.
I'm going to, Charlotte, I'm going to move you into the other topic closer to home, and this is the proposal for the Mosque and Islamic Center. They're talking about it. Community Board 1 is right now. It has touched a nerve. Some people strongly support it, and some of the victims' family members strongly oppose it.
I'm strongly supportive, though I can understand why there's sensitivity, but I think the sensitivity misunderstands who attacked us at 9/11. We weren't attacked by Islam. We were attacked by a radical terrorist group who, while attacking us, were also desecrating the name of one of the world's great religions. It's a misunderstanding of who we're at war with to be opposed to an Islamic cultural center or a mosque. We need to plow forward with our mission to be of religious tolerance, to be a melting pot here in New York. I think this is an emblem of our values.
Should the feelings of the 9/11 victims' families weigh in and be important?
Absolutely. I think that, to Charlotte's point, this is a very serious, difficult issue because we're talking about democracy and the principles of democracy and religious freedom on the one hand. So it's very hard to say don't build the mosque. On the other hand, it is the feeling. It's an affront to the families. It's an affront to many of the people who suffered in this. And, you know, I heard the imam speak.
Many people who suffered were Muslims. They also were killed on 9/11.
True, but it was radical. 3,000 people were killed in the name of radical Islam. Now, but it was a form of Islam. And I think the imam who's made the case to build this cultural center has said that he wanted to do it to build trust between the communities. But part of building trust is understanding other people's feelings and being sensitive and not rubbing salt in the wounds of them.
All right. That's going to have to be it. You're going to have to come back next week. Charlotte Ann Nelson, Lynn White, Judy Licht, always a pleasure. I think I got through unscathed this week, just fitting in.